Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dive deep into the future of Zbeck because things are getting very interesting in the crypto markets, and this project has the potential to stand out as one of the biggest movers in the coming months. The energy around the markets has been shifting, and while most people focus only on Bitcoin or Ethereum, I want to show you why zooming in on projects like Zbeck could be the smartest move you make. But before we break down the details of Zbeck, its roadmap, and its compliance achievements, we need to take a step back and talk about the bigger picture. No project in crypto operates in isolation. The sentiment and performance of Bitcoin and the global crypto market set the tone for every single altcoin, including Zbeck, so understanding the broader environment is absolutely essential. This video is strictly for educational and informational purposes only. Nothing you hear in this breakdown should be taken as financial, investment, or trading advice. At the moment, the global cryptocurrency market cap is sitting at around $3.83 trillion. Just pause for a moment and let that sink in. A decade ago, people laughed at the idea of cryptocurrencies reaching even $1 trillion. They dismissed the entire industry as nothing more than a speculative bubble, a toy for internet geeks. And yet, here we are, with crypto standing shoulder to shoulder with some of the largest asset classes in the world. But don't let the big number fool you, because beneath the surface, the market has been choppy. Investors are nervous, sentiment is fragile, and you can see this clearly in the Fear and Greed Index, which is currently at 41. That leans heavily into fear territory. And as anyone who has spent even a little time in crypto knows, fear in this market doesn't just sit quietly in the background. It drives decisions. It makes people panic sell when they should be holding. It makes them chase green candles at the top, and it often leads them to miss out on the biggest opportunities. If you've been around during previous cycles, you'll recognize this pattern instantly. Now, one of the hottest debates right now is whether or not we're officially in altcoin season. Every day I see arguments on both sides. Some people swear it's already here. They point to coins pumping double digits in a matter of days. They highlight new projects rallying off announcements, and they argue the evidence is clear. Others push back and say no, Bitcoin is still holding too much dominance. The real alt season hasn't kicked in yet, and what we're seeing are just isolated bursts. Personally, I believe we're not fully in alt season yet, but the signs are building. It's like watching the tide pull back before a massive wave hits. Bitcoin dominance is relatively low, which is usually a precursor for altcoins to start stealing the spotlight. And when that happens, we know from history what comes next. Capital flows down from Bitcoin into mid and small caps, and that's where you see the insane 5x, 10x, even 100x moves. That's the environment where a project like Zbeck could absolutely explode. So let's talk about Zbeck itself. Recently, the price action has been fairly sideways. If you've been following the charts, you'll notice that over the past month, Zbeck went through a steady decline as investors locked in profits. That's normal. It happens after rallies. Money was pulled out of the markets, and Zbeck, like many other coins, took a hit. But here's the encouraging part. Despite that pullback, Zbeck hasn't collapsed. In fact, it's been showing signs of resilience and recovery. As of today, it's still down about 2%, but the trading volume is holding strong at around $350 million. That's a critical detail that most casual observers miss. When a coin's price dips but its trading volume stays high, it means people are still interested. Liquidity is there. Buyers and sellers are still engaging, and that sets the stage for potential rebounds. This is not the behavior of a dead coin. This is the behavior of a project consolidating before its next move. But what really sets Zbeck apart, and what I don't think enough people fully appreciate yet, is its compliance achievements. Zbeck is SOC2 compliant. That might sound like a dry technical term, but let me explain why it matters. SOC2 compliance is a rigorous certification that proves an organization is meeting strict standards for security, availability, and confidentiality. In simpler terms, it's a stamp of legitimacy. It shows that Zbeck is operating at a level of professionalism and accountability that most crypto projects don't even come close to. Think about it. How many tokens out there are just running on hype with no regard for regulation or proper compliance? A lot. And those are exactly the kinds of projects that institutions can never touch. Zbeck is playing an entirely different game. It's not just building for retail traders. It's building itself into a project that regulators, institutions, and enterprise-level partners can take seriously. That's why I keep saying this coin is the future. It's not a meme, it's not a pump and dump, it's building infrastructure. And when you look at the roadmap, you see exactly what I mean. September is already lined up for MEA approval. In October, ZBEC is expected to secure FCA approval, which would be massive. FCA regulation in the UK could open doors to institutional adoption that most altcoins can only dream of. And by the end of 2025, the team is targeting ISO certification. ISO standards are globally recognized, and when a project in crypto achieves them, it instantly becomes a candidate for integration with banks and major financial players. Stack all of that together, SOC2, FCA, ISO, and you don't just have another speculative altcoin. You have a serious financial technology project with the potential to stand toe-to-toe with some of the biggest names in the space. Now let's look back for a moment, because 2025 has already been a busy year for Zbeck. In January, we saw XPAC's recap and the 2025 roadmap discussions with continued integration into the Circle Alliance program. February featured a Telegram AMA with then CEO Sam. Leadership has since changed, but that early engagement built trust with the community. March brought the launch of the ZA Carbon Card, which was another step in bringing real-world utility to the project. In April, Zbeck released its white paper and announced partnerships with Circle, Chainlink, and even hints of Ripple involvement. May was a huge month, with the acquisition of Science Card Limited and moves into real-world assets through RWA networks. June is when things started heating up, with Zbeck recording gains of up to 440% and partnerships with XDB Chain. July pushed the project further into mainstream discussions, with policy talks at the House of Lords, a partnership with Algorand, and the acquisition of Paybridge. And then came August, the month of SOC2 compliance, partnerships with WageLink, and testing integrations with Ripple and Stellar. That's 8 straight months of progress, announcements, and achievements. If you ever doubt whether ZBC is delivering, just look at that track record. And the best part? We're not even done yet. The final quarter of the year looks packed. October could bring an official Ripple partnership, and if that happens, it would be a game changer. Ripple is already one of the biggest players in cross-border payments, and Zbeck plugging into that network would supercharge its adoption potential. November is slated for the expansion of ZPIN POS terminals, which could bring real-world usage to merchants and customers. And in December, the team is targeting ISO certification along with even deeper POS expansion. Plus, let's not forget the possibility of Binance and Coinbase listings. If Zbeck secures those listings, the exposure alone could skyrocket its price. We've seen this happen time and time again. Projects pump hundreds of % on major exchange listings. If ZBC lands those, it could very well set the stage for all-time highs. Now let's talk numbers. In the long term, I've said before that I see ZBC reaching $1. That's ambitious, but not impossible, given the roadmap, partnerships, and compliance structure. In the nearer term, I think a penny is very realistic. For Zbeck to hit 01 cents, it needs to reach a market cap of around $1 billion. With its current trajectory, that's achievable. Remember, this isn't just speculation. Zbeck has real utility, real partnerships, and real adoption pathways. That's what makes it different from meme coins or short-lived hype projects. But at the end of the day, numbers and charts don't tell the full story. Psychology plays a massive role in investing, especially in crypto. Many of you reached out to me on Telegram saying you bought the dip. That's smart. Others are still on the sidelines, waiting, nervous about when to buy in, and that's normal. But here's the truth. Opportunities in crypto don't come gift-wrapped with guarantees. When the market flips bullish, it happens fast, and by the time the mainstream catches on, the biggest gains are gone. That's why smart investors look for moments like this, when fear is high, when uncertainty dominates, when people are second-guessing themselves. Those are the entry points that create long-term winners. So if you're considering Zbeck, do your research, understand the risks, but recognize that you might not get another chance at these levels once momentum shifts. So let's wrap it up. ZBEC has compliance achievements that most projects can only dream of, with SOC2 already secured and FCA and ISO on the horizon. It has a packed roadmap with potential Ripple integration, POS terminal rollouts, and possible Binance and Coinbase listings. It has partnerships with giants like Circle and Chainlink, and even tests with Ripple and Stellar. It has a strong and growing community, real-world utility, and institutional potential. And it's positioning itself not just as another coin, but as a project that could redefine what utility-driven crypto looks like. That's why I say the journey with Zbeck isn't over, it's just getting started. So guys, if you found value in this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with your friends so they don't miss out on what's coming, and subscribe to the channel so you can stay ahead of the curve. The crypto markets are always moving, and with projects like ZBEC making strides, the opportunities are massive for those paying attention. Don't let fear or hesitation hold you back. The future is being built right now, and Zbeck is carving out its place in it.